Compass Cay is one of our favorite places in the Bahamas. There you'll find a beautiful bubble bath lagoon, 2 gorgeous caves, and tame nurse sharks to pet. In fact, we had so much fun. We stayed at this anchorage 2 times this season. So join us as we show you one of our favorite places in the Bahamas. And don't miss our tip of the week at the end. From Cambridge Cay, we travel about 2 nautical miles, leaving the Exuma Islands Land and Sea Park, and head to the northwest side of Compass Cay. We anchor next to a beautiful white sand beach and a trail that leads to Rachel's bubble bath. The anchorage is close to the Conch Cut, the inlet between Cambridge Cay and Compass Cay, and we find it's subject to strong currents and tidal shifts. We are at Compass Cay, and we are walking up to Rachel's bubble bath, and there is a just gorgeous path along the beach.
It's a gorgeous place. All by ourselves. It is truly a vacation postcard today.
Yes.
There are even butterflies flying around.
It's not a butterfly.
All right.
It does look like a butterfly. Look at it in white. That is cool. We got a tip to it. What happened last night to our boat?
It drifted against the wind. I think we had some swells and it pushed the boat up into the sand and grass, only on one hull. It was only there for about an hour and 15 minutes. And then the tide turned and we were pushed back out.
Yeah, it was kind of scary for an hour.
Because the rudders and the props are significantly higher than the counterweights at the bottom of the boat. All we were doing is just barely tapping, touching.
Oh, look, there's a ray. Cool. Look at him. A little tiny one. It is just a beautiful walk. A little stream beside us.
You're gonna lose your sunglasses.
Got your hat!
Rachel's bubble bath is a lagoon that is fed by water from the Exuma Sound, breaking over a notch in the lava rocks. When water pours over the notch in the rocks, it causes a froth to form on the surface of the water, producing a bubble bath effect.
It was a little bigger when we first got here, but we get in the bubble. We right now have a southeasterly. I think it's more important to have an easterly. That's a big one. There's another big one. And they come in threes.
What'd you think? I thought that was a lot of fun.
That was a very good event. That was a very good one.
I
know it's
know.
good when she's holding me.
So what's below the surface and one of the main reasons we're wearing water shoes? Sea urchins, and lots of them.
Those are super cool.
Yes, they are. I wanted a lobster to come right out because we're outside of the land and
Land and
sea
Sea Park.
And we have 3 days before the season stops.
Yes,
for
yes,
lobsters.
for lobstering. You wouldn't guess that looking at that shelf.
And they're all the way down there.
Point to where Rocky Dundas is.
Islands is the one on the left. They both may actually be part of Rocky Dundas.
I believe so.
But the cave is on the left one.
We wade back through the stream to the white sand beach and take our dinghy back to LabMariner. The next morning, we wake up to enjoy a gorgeous golden hour as we get ready to visit our next location, Rocky Dundas Caves.
So we are at Rocky Dundas Caves. Doable?
Oh, absolutely. It's very cool. It's very undercut as a rock. Look up the side. It's good 12, maybe even more feet than that, cut under. What's really cool is the light in the middle of the cave.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to see that perfectly. It is 45 minutes to low tide, approximately. And we're going to get our stuff on.
The reason why we want to be here at low tide is one, that doesn't open up at high tide. And you don't want to go to any of these swimming areas unless it's high tide or low tide, because the major ocean is only 1 nautical mile that way, and these islands all shove the water only through these narrow channels. And when the tide is either moving up or moving down, the current is unbelievable. Transition between high tide and low tide is when all the current happens. And so we want to either be at swimming areas usually at either high tide or at low tide, because at high tide and low tide, the current stops. It goes up, gets high, stops for a little bit, and then swings back down low. So in the swings, that's the real dangerous time to go swimming. Come on in. Come on. That's bigger than I thought it was. All right, sweetie. Another good find.
I know.
It may have been easier at high tide because the waves were not allowed in here.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd have to swim under.
Yeah.
They are.
Water park ride.
That's where that noise is when the wave goes in.
Ah, I got it. You want to go sit over there on that? All right, well, you got to go backwards.
So we found ourselves a little ledge.
Yes.
Just going to hang out and watch the surf go in and out.
Yeah, it'll be easier to get out. Just get in this little trench and swim right out.
Pretty deep.
Yeah.
It's really shallow over there.
Yeah, the surge is getting bigger and bigger. That's a good time. That was very good we got out.
Yeah, they were saying that there were stalactites and stalagmites here.
There they are.
And there they are.
Previous trip to Rocky Dundas, we saw one cave and I realized that there was a second cave, so we're gonna go check out the second cave.
So what do you think?
Okay, I'm glad we came back.
The other one we couldn't actually walk around in. This one we can, so it's kind of cool. We had the both perspectives.
This is by far the coolest cave we've been in. Even better than the grotto from my perspective.
Getting some rock climbing in even. So which one did you like better?
They were both good.
In their own way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprised we missed that one.
Yeah, I know. For some reason I had originally thought it was at the other
key.
Yes.
Our next destination is Compass Cay Marina on the south side of the island to see their tame nurse sharks. The channel south to the marina can be shallow, so we take the dinghy the 2.5 nautical miles. There is a $10 per person docking fee, which allows you to swim with the nurse sharks. We did not bring food for the sharks, which we found was a mistake. So remember to bring some food if you want to see the sharks in action.
It gets them active though. No, I know that. I was just throwing it in so that they felt like there was food somewhere around.
Something interesting.
You knew we needed some food, didn't you?
Even though we didn't see any action, it was sure fun swimming with the nurse sharks lying underneath us.
They like this or they hate this.
They're neutral. They'd rather be fed.
They're like, if it gets me food, it works.
We were lucky because a few of the baby sharks have learned to swim onto the platform during high tide, so it was a great opportunity for us to pet them. We leave Compass Cay Marina and the nurse sharks behind and head back to LabMariner. Next up is our third and final tip about mooring balls.
There are other techniques to acquiring a mooring ball. When we were first learning about mooring balls, we had learned about a technique where instead of having to hang over the very front of the boat and have these headphones on and having whoever's at the helm blindly trying to figure out how to stay over this ball that's floating in the water, we actually use the stern of our boat to attach a line to the mooring ball. So in other words, if the wind is going this way, we would take our vessel, go past the mooring ball, and then have the stern of our boat at the mooring ball. And the reason why people would do that is you can just step down onto the stern platform, which is really just a foot off the water, reach in, grab the line to the mooring ball, the pennant line, and attach one of our vessel line to the pennant. Once that line is on, you still have to walk the pennant line and the mooring on the side of the boat so that it gets to the front or the bow of the boat, and keep the boat close to the mooring ball as you basically move the vessel so that the mooring ball now goes to the bow of the boat or the front of the boat. And what we found in trying to maneuver the boat, manage the lines, make sure that the mooring ball stayed close to the hull as we moved it along the starboard side of our hull, and make sure that the ball wasn't either too far or too close to the boat, that it ended up just adding a lot more variabilities that ultimately canceled out the value of just being able to put our line directly onto the pennant line down near the water on our sugar scoop. So we ended up going more with the keep it simple, stupid process of just reaching over the bow and picking up the pennant line.
Join us next week when we sail to Stanley Cay, where we pet nurse sharks, snorkel the Thunderbolt Grotto, and enjoy some fine dining at Stanley Cay Yacht Club.